Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the Tata Punch EV. This is actually the long range version of the Tata Punch EV. There's a standard range which I will never recommend you buy because the range is really very poor. Straight away, let's open the frunk because this one has a usable frunk which is not that usable because only 14 liters or so, 5 kgs can be accommodated there, which isn't much. Insulation is given here which is not needed. Oh my god, that was quite the bang. I don't like the design much because it looks very similar to the Nexon EV. So yes, it could have its own identity, but Tata Motors is doing the family design language. Everything looks the same now. Front parking camera, horn is exposed right here, and that is a functional vent. I really don't know how much it adds to aerodynamic efficiency. Low beam, high beam, sequential indicator, and everybody hated the massive DRL. They called it a tube light on the Verna. Where are the DKL fans right now? We're not complaining when Tata is doing the exact same. Meanwhile, there is a towing hook here, which you probably would need if you're driving the standard range because battery could deplete fast. 315 kilometers claim range, which in the real world is like 200 or 220, and my car number is 7 Thalla for a freaking reason. Tire size 195/60/16. Alloy wheel design is okay. I really don't like that much. Says .EV there. All types of colors on this car. That is finished in blue. They obviously get the body cladding in black and then has this floating roof treatment too. Meanwhile, doors open 90 degrees, which is good but kind of useless. And the space at the rear isn't that good either because look at that. Not much space. Under thigh support is poor. Headroom is adequate enough, but why is there no center headrest here? And the seat is a bit upright. No cup holders here either. No rear AC vents. No charging sockets at the rear. So yes, Tata Motors could have done better in terms of features because yes, they've given it a lot of features, but the essential features are missing. Now this reclines in one single piece. It needed to recline in 60/40 Tata Motors. Why it doesn't do that, I really don't understand. Obviously ISOFIX child seat mount, 3-point seat belts, all that is given. I appreciate it, but all the lights are not halogen because this is actually, yes, this is halogen. I mean, all the lights are not LEDs, which is disappointing, and there's a provision for the rear fog light which is not there. Front parking sensors are not there. It gets 2 parking sensors at the rear. Cost cutting again. Meanwhile, the loading lip is on the high side. This particular car does not get a spare wheel only. So again, cost cutting has been done. That is the charging cable, and toolkit and all is organized properly, but I need a spare wheel. I don't need a freaking puncture repair kit. Please give me that if you can. It can accommodate 1 kg on either side as well. That's what it says. And there is the light for the number plate. Meanwhile, I mean, the design is similar to the Punch even though it's on a new platform as such, and this is also functional. These air curtains, it doesn't really need it, but it still has it anyways. Ground clearance is 190 mm, water weighting capacity 350 mm, request sensor on this side, not there on that side. So yes, cost cutting is there. Instead of putting this sticker on all your cars which says 25 years 50 lakh cars, give me rear AC vents please, or at least charging sockets at the rear because that's what I really need. Why are there dummy buttons here? Overall fit finish and all could be a bit better. Even the body, people say na Tata Motors cars are stable and all. Look at this. Yeah, so that is not really great. Look at the way a small punch can just move the punch, and overall, you know, the gaps and finishing and all could be a lot better. Yeah, the panel gaps are a bit too much in this car. Let's step inside, where I feel they've done a fantastic job with the dashboard design, but obviously beige is going to get dirty really soon. 6 airbags. Seat ventilation button is in the wrong place because I have been accidentally hitting it time and again. Door pockets are nice, but illumination is only on the driver side, not on the other windows. Why is that? Again, same cheap looking old power window controls from the Indica Vista days. Same for the mirror adjustment as well. Speaker tweeter and all that is given. Obviously engine start button. There's no engine here, sorry. And let's turn off the lights. So it gets this blind view monitor. Quality of the cameras could be a lot better, but at least Tata Motors is giving us a 360-degree parking camera in this particular car. What is this video which is playing? Oh my goodness, this is none other than the Citroen. Yes, the EC3.
क्या साबित करना चाहता है तू? क्या साबित करना चाहता है तू?
Why is this so dim? Why am I not able to see anything? Let me try. Oh, okay. So in terms of brightness, this screen isn't that great. Why is it so dimly lit up? I have no idea, but this is a very loaded screen. It's got arcade.ev, it's got mood light, it has even got AQI monitor, and you can also do racing games, Amazon Alexa, Android Auto, and Apple CarPlay are wireless. Take that, Hyundai! Glove box is decent size, but a bit flimsy, of course. However, it gets a cooling function, a tray here, a light there as well. Yeah, lot of hard plastics. This is a fingerprint magnet. This screen is known to conk off at times. So is this screen. Both are 10.25 inch unit. At least in the Nexon and Harrier and Safari we have seen these screens have stopped working. Slightly bigger screens there, of course. Meanwhile, this magnet is not very reassuring, and this is so chintu mintu. It's not really a storage space. However, electric parking brake and auto hold function nice. This dual effect is also fantastic. Modes and all are given. Wireless charging pad. So yes, lot of features, but some of them are missing. Now look at this. There is no alignment only. Panel gap, this is eliminated, and this is obviously a fingerprint magnet, will get dirty really soon. The horn could be better though. Yes, as I see it, this car is really very well loaded, but could do with slightly more features. Wipers work really well, lot of spray on offer, and this is an auto dimming mirror. There is no mirror here. Why? There is a mirror here. The driver does not deserve to see his face. Sunroof is really small. The sunroof could be bigger, and this is optional. You pay 50,000 for it. Actually 56,000 when you factor in taxes. It opens completely, but it could be slightly bigger. So it's a chintu mintu sunroof right here. Overall fit finish and all is good enough. Only thing is they should work on the panel gaps of this car. But how is it to drive? That's the main question, right? Because at the end of the day, does this car finally have the punch? I am happy to say it does. Alright, it's time to drive, which means I'll turn off the vehicle.
Take out the key fob.
This lady is very chatty. Let's open the door, and it says door open there. Let's turn on the vehicle. Does this whole show and says Tata Motors. It's a bit laggy there. Air conditioning I'm going to decrease. I have kept the air conditioning on for a reason, because right now it is in city mode. It's saying it's a range of 232 kilometers. When I get into sport drive mode, the range reduces to 220 kilometers. When I get into eco drive mode, the range is 246 kilometers. This is all on 86% battery. Now I'm going to turn off the air conditioning. The range increases to 273 kilometers in eco mode. In city mode, the range is 257 kilometers, and in sport mode, the range is 245 kilometers. Now you should not charge your battery over 80%. So this is the realistic range which you will get in the real world. Now again, depending on your driving style. So we are in sport mode, and I'm going to get into drive. Now this is not the easiest to use. It's a bit cumbersome because at times you really don't know which mode you are in. So yeah, this looks nice, but it's not very practical, and this sport is a bit jammed, so you have to put in a slight effort to actually use it as well. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator.
Please fasten passenger seat belt. Please fasten passenger seat belt.
There we have reached 100 kilometers per hour. Now let me tell you the story of the passenger seat belt. There's no one sitting on that particular seat where it's ringing and saying fasten passenger seat belt, because this rings for 30 seconds, something which Maruti started with the, I think they started with the Jimny and also very irritating feature there. It should have a sensor to detect if there's a person sitting there. No, it just keeps ringing randomly, which is not so good. Can I turn on the camera? Let's try that as well. Okay, there it is, the driver rear view monitor, not the 360-degree parking camera. Now it's shut. 30 seconds of unnecessary disturbance for me. Around the corners, well, you can feel the weight. Battery weight is quite a lot, and there is so much torque going through the front wheels that it keeps doing torque steer and wheel spinning as well. See this? Performance is very good. This car finally has the punch which the petrol punch never had, because the petrol punch has a 1.2 liter petrol engine which is producing just, and when I say just, 86 horsepower, which isn't much. 86 or 83, not that it matters, because it's kind of hopeless in terms of performance, and the torque output there is 130 newton meters. The punch petrol is really very slow. It gets a 5-speed manual gearbox and a 5-speed AMT, and it also comes with CNG options and all. So that's the reason why the Punch EV makes a lot more sense. But this car costs rupees 4.55 lakhs more when compared to the regular petrol Punch. So yes, the premium is quite a lot, variant to variant I'm talking about. On-road pricing, of course. Steering doesn't have much feel as such. Electric cars are becoming gadgets is what Tata Motors is saying, and they're like, you know, gadgets, very nice. I don't like gadgets. Who wants to buy a gadget? People want a car, and that's something where Tata Motors is going wrong, because they feel that cars are gadgets now and gadgets are not fun to drive, right? And that's the same case here. I mean, the performance is good. I just hit a bump and randomly the indicator has started. Ride quality is actually quite good. It is quite compliant, and yeah, ESP is on and still the wheels are spinning like crazy. So this is the long range, which is powered by 35 kilowatt hour battery pack producing 122 horsepower, which is good, and 190 newton meters of torque, which reminds me of the original Swift diesel, which produced 190 newton meters of torque. So yes, that's the reason it has that punch. But obviously the Swift diesel had a big turbo, so there was turbo lag, there was the silence before the storm. Here too, like all other electric cars, there's that instant boost and then it's linear and then it dies out in the top end. I think the top speed is somewhere around 140 kilometers per hour, which is fine. You don't expect more from EVs, of course. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 9.5 seconds, which isn't bad. It is decently quick. Horn is okay, it's not that great. I clicked the horn just to give you the horn test. That guy's like, hello dude, what's up? Let's take a quick U-turn. Turning radius is actually, my goodness. I'm just wrestling the freaking steering wheel, which is devoid of any feel or feedback only. So this is actually the long range. The standard range, please avoid that at any possible cost or every possible cost, because that one has a 25 kilowatt hour battery pack that has a real world range of maybe around 200 to 20 kilometers, because the claim range there is 315 kilometers. The claim range here for the long range is 421 kilometers, which is not possible because when I got the car at 100% charge in the morning, by the time I took a video of it, that was 97% charge. So around 360 kilometers on 100% charge with the long range. So where did those 61 kilometers vanish? I don't know what ARAI does and how they managed to push the car down a slope to get those amazing efficiency numbers. Probably I should hire drivers from ARAI so that I can save a lot more money. That said, obviously the standard range is to be avoided because the performance will be similar. I mean, it will be slightly better because of instant torque, but the numbers are similar to the petrol punch, which is 82 PS of power and 114 Newton meters of torque, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 13.5 seconds, which is quite commendable considering the petrol punch never reaches 100 kilometers per hour because of the lackluster performance. Jokes aside, the petrol punch does reach 100 kilometers per hour, but the engine is not that great. So obviously the standard one, please avoid it at all costs. In fact, the standard one is slightly faster charging because of the smaller battery, right? So this car comes with a 3.3 kilowatt wall plug or the 15 ampere socket as standard, which will take the battery from 10 to 100% in the standard range in just approximately 9.4 hours. Meanwhile, it will take 13.5 hours here. You can pay 50,000 more, or rather when you factor in the on-road pricing, that is around 53,000 more for the 7.2 kilowatt AC fast charger, which will take the standard model's battery from 10 to 100% in around 3.6 hours or 5 hours in the long range version. Meanwhile, the best way to charge is obviously the 50 kilowatt DC fast charger, which is obviously something you would do outside, which will charge this car from 10 to 80% in just 56 minutes, whether it's the standard range or whether it is the long range. Similar charging times, of course. So you have to get that AC charger, otherwise it's super slow charging, man. 13.5 hours is a lot of time. That said, the good thing here is that the price difference between the standard and the long range is around 1.1 to 1.4 lakhs, which isn't much, which makes me want to launch this car here. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and off we go. There you go. Acceleration is linear and brisk, and obviously it's an electric motor, so it's super duper silent. You can't hear much. That's how it is with all electric motors. Brakes are good. In fact, I think they have given it all-wheel disc as well, so braking performance is good because it also has regenerative braking, which means that you can use the steering mounted paddles to enable regen. So right now regen is off. Let me turn it on to maximum. So there are 4 levels. There's off, there's level 1, there's level 2, there's level 3. Now I have just left it completely. It's slowing down. It slows down dramatically. It slows down quite fast at certain speeds, which is good. Why is the camera off? So we're going to turn it on again. And yeah, the steering has no feel, yaar. What is this steering wheel? There's so much body roll as well. So this is not a dynamic car in any way whatsoever. Especially the suspension is a bit noisy. Oh God, where are we going? Actually, I need to take a reverse now because they've closed that particular road, which is quite surprising to me. Here we are into reverse. Visibility and all is fine. I don't have much to complain about there, but I've just taken a very bad turn right now. But yes, camera quality could be better. I feel yes, the cameras could be slightly better in terms of quality. And since I'm complaining so much today, most people will be like, "Arey, ye to Tata ke against." No, yeah, I really appreciate how Tata Motors is pushing the boundaries when it comes to electric cars. And I know the reason for the same. Tata Motors is not really great in terms of making petrol engines. We know Hyundai and Maruti have mastered that art of making good petrol engines. So with EVs, Tata Motors has like 70% market share. And the primary reason for that is that they are giving us very value for money alternatives. So here we are. Again, I'm going to launch. In fact, I'm going to launch it into eco mode so you can see how slow this car can get. Yeah, and 360-degree parking camera on. Let me turn on the 3D view. Come on. There you go. And off we go. Camera turned off. Little bit wheel spin in eco drive mode as well. Eco drive mode is so slow that a Honda Unicorn overtook me right away. Yeah, it's not that spritey as such. It's very laid back. Yeah, not exciting to drive it in eco drive mode, but then it gives you better range, and that range obviously matters. That is the blind view monitor. The quality of the camera isn't that great on the side, at least. Somehow at the rear it is a lot better. Yeah, you can just see the cameras. And now I'm going to get into the city drive mode. No, is it in eco? Yeah, city drive mode activated. This lady now talks a lot. I don't know why we have this panel which is full of fingerprints. Look at this. If Daya comes to know about this now, he's going to catch me. So we need a cloth to always clean it. I'm just ruining it further, I feel. That is not a well designed steering wheel at all. Firstly, the panel gaps and then the fingerprint magnet, not needed at all. I don't know why Tata Motors does all these unnecessary things. They should really focus on QC, reliability and all these factors in improving the service, because that is where things go a bit wrong. Now, compared to the regular Punch petrol, the warranty here is better, because I think that's 3 years, 1 lakh kilometers, whatever. Here it is 3 years, 1,25,000 kilometers, and the battery has an 8 year, 1,60,000 kilometer warranty, which is usually the case, IP67 rated and all that, which is obviously standard across all electric cars these days, because I think the battery manufacturer offers the same. Yeah, then ESP kicks in very abruptly, and then tires are going to go really fast in this car. Should we do the brake test? We should, but we'll do it later. Let me stop here, turn on the hazards, and we will launch it again. This time we are going to launch it in city drive mode. I like this menu. Actually, this is super cool the way they have done it. On ho ja bhai. Yeah. So yes, some of the graphics are actually quite nice. However, steering is adjustable only for height, not for reach. And hazard lights off, and off we go in city drive mode. Are we in city drive mode? Yes, we are in city drive mode. Range increase. Now all of a sudden I thought we have come in eco, but then I turned off the air conditioning. So obviously that makes quite a bit of a difference as well. Now this is underpinned by the Gen 2 electric platform from Tata Motors, known as Active. There's a wordplay here. It is ACTI.EV, whereas the spelling of Active is ACTIVE. For me, being the grammar Nazi, I cannot tolerate the way Tata Motors has spelled this. So yes, that's kind of sad. But this car is overlapping all other Tata electric cars in terms of pricing, because Tata has like 4 electric cars now. So the top variants of the Tigor and the Tiago EV models, they can be had, I mean, for that same price you can get low variants of the Punch.EV, and for the top variants of the Punch.EV you can get low variants of the Nexon.EV, and the Nexon is obviously a better choice, personally speaking. But don't get the older version of the Nexon, get the latest version, get the long range always. Talking about the variants, there are 5 trim levels. There's standard, standard plus, adventure, empowered, empowered plus, but all these 5 are available only with the standard range. With the long range, which is this one, you do not have the lower 2 variants. So Smart and Smart Plus are not available in the long range. So there are totally 8 variants. However, there are these personas and accessories and whatnot, resulting in there being almost, hold your breath, 20 freaking variants of this car. And the price range starts at 11.67 lakhs, goes all the way till 16.48 lakhs on road Mumbai, of course. That also brings me to the fact that some of the bits are optional. Like I was telling you, the charging cable, the 7.2 kilowatt AC one is optional. Even the sunroof is optional. You have to pay 50,000 for it. On road price turns out to be 56,000 difference, and that is available only in the Adventure, Empowered and Empowered Plus variants. You cannot get the sunroof in the lower variant. No, I'm sorry, that is simply not possible. Yeah, electric cars are just quite, yeah, the tires could be a lot better. I think the tires are getting very quickly like they are going very quickly because of wheel spin. Actually, the mode is wrong right now. City, so sport, that you immediately feel the difference between all the drive modes. They obviously alter how much power is coming out from the electric motor. So the tires are wearing out faster in electric cars because of the torque, and you obviously push it. It's like driving a 4-wheel version of the Activa. That's how is the feeling of driving such a car. Obviously the Activa makes some sound, at least this one doesn't. The Activa has the CVT vine, this one doesn't. But the Activa has that instant acceleration when you twist your right wrist. Here, when you twist your right foot, yeah, it does accelerate with quite a lot of enthusiasm. But it's just this thing which is the problem here, that there's nosedive under heavy braking. Soft suspension really affects the car quite a lot, and here there is some amount of stuff on the road for us to do the ride quality test. Oh my goodness, I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but there's an Airbus A320 taking off right there right now. And now approximately at 70 kilometers per hour, regen to the maximum. Let's see if the car comes to a halt completely. And while it is decelerating, let me tell you that this platform is actually modular. It will also underpin the Harrier EV, the Altroz EV, as well as the upcoming Curve and the Sierra models. And now it's going to cruise at 9 kilometers per hour because we are in sport mode. If I get into eco mode, maybe the cruising speed will decrease slightly. earlier it was cruising at 7 kilometers per hour. Now it's decreasing, even though we are on a downslope. So it's slowing down very, very, very slowly. Come to a halt? No, there is no one pedal driving then, because if it is slowing down at such a slow pace, there is no one pedal driving. But oh, now it's reached 7 kilometers per hour. At this pace, by next year, this car will definitely come to a halt.
75 years later.
Still stuck at 7 kilometers per hour. In fact, it's increases speed to 8 kilometers per hour. So yes, there is no one pedal driving, but that doesn't stop us from doing the braking test. We're going to hit a speed of approximately 80 kilometers per hour and stand on the brakes now. Oh, I'm hitting 90. As always, ABS is just oversensitive here. So Tata Motors has thrown everything but the kitchen sink here. I know it misses out on certain features, but this car has almost every possible feature you could ever imagine. It is super duper loaded. So kudos to Tata Motors for the same. And this car competes with the MG Comet and the Citroen AC3 and also its own stablemates. But compared to the other cars from non-Tata Motors, this one definitely feels a lot better, and I would definitely recommend it over the EC3 as well as the MG Comet. I mean, if you don't want to be seen in a Comet for sure, even though MG is trying its level best to make this car popular by giving it for free to actors like Sunil Shetty, and there was another actor, and then there's some blogger also who has also got that Comet. All of them have been paid to drive that car, otherwise you will never want to be seen in one of them. If you like this vlog, make sure to give it a thumbs up, that's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video really soon. Bye bye. Yeah, the driving feel isn't that fantastic. That's the only problem with electric cars. I have to admit that electric cars are...
Economy drive mode.
Oh, finally, lady, you got up. So electric cars are definitely efficient, but they really don't save the environment much because of the way the battery is produced, of course. And then I cannot deny that fact that you can say 4.5 lakhs and get the regular punch, but that doesn't have a punch at all. So in this way, the electric version is better. In fact, for smaller city cars, definitely electric makes a lot more sense. But I would rather walk today.